All right. So today is a special day. What we're gonna talk about is one black superheroes of and I think there's a word of encouragement that you're gonna want to stick around and hear at the end. So stick around, all right. As always, my name is Alvin the architect, and I'm a music producer, songwriter, and I'm here to build you up. All right. Man, I can't stress enough how many times that fear, anxiety, self-doubt cripples me, right? So I make music so when you feel weak, I create content so when you feel weak, you'll be reminded no matter how powerless you feel, you always have access to power to build. Okay? So that's what I do. Let's get into it. So, first of all, I wanted to talk about this Eternals movie, man. Like, yo, this Eternals movie was crazy. I didn't even think it'd be that good. Like, when I say, like, I checked that joint out, I did not think it would be that fire. Like, I really did not, cause when it came out originally, I think it came out in March or April, right? I'm not sure, but when it came out, I didn't care. Like I didn't think it was gonna be a big deal. But look, it was actually pretty big deal because of the things that it connected to, right? So quickly, I watched the movie through and through. It took me a little time. Because I had to watch it in spurts. I don't. Do you guys do that? Like, took you a whole week to watch a movie? Does it ever take you a whole week to watch a movie where you watch like segments of it, like bit by bit, right? That's kind of what I did. So anyways, I watched it. Man, the Easter eggs in that joint was crazy. And I'm still trying to figure out even like what Eternals are. So who are the Eternals, right? The Eternals are an evolutionary. Let me pull this over here. Yeah, so the Eternals are an evolutionary offshoot of humanity, gifted with amazing powers and ability to look after the human race throughout the ages, right? So 1 million years ago, the mysterious epic beings known as Celestial, bruh, first of all, these Celestials was crazy, like these big old beings, and they created 100 Eternals and left, right? Since then, the Eternals have lived selected on Earth, rarely interfering with humanity and being reborn whenever they perish. After two devastating civil wars, kind of like Captain America's Civil War, kind of like even the United States Civil War. I think it's interesting how like all this stuff mirrors real life. Crazy, right? The remaining Eternals of Earth chose a path of peace and dedicated their lives to bettering themselves and their society. So you have these people that are sent by these huge beings, right? That literally come down and they're tasked with watching the Earth, so they watch the Earth and they take care of it, and they pull out a footage here. They take care of it, and they help the people. And the one big thing is that apparently they couldn't interfere with they couldn't you weren't supposed to see that. Apparently they couldn't interfere with actual human conflict. So even like as all the wars was happening, these people were not allowed to participate in anything, right? So as the world burned, crashed, and all that stuff, they had to sit by the wayside and see all that stuff. But anyways, so fun fact is Thanos is actually an Eternal. He's like half Eternal and half Celestial, which is interesting, right? So, but there's like a theory out there that says that that's kind of why he wanted to kill half of humanity, because the thing with Celestials, right, that they think they're going down there. They were sent by the thing with the Eternals is they were sent by the Celestials. They think that they're going down there to protect the people, right, watch over the people. But really, the Celestials' plan this whole time is to actually birth the planet and cultivate the planet, and when it's time to come, literally basically eat that planet as an energy source for themselves, right, for them to be born. So that's kind of crazy. But the twist, if you haven't seen Eternals, I'm sorry, I'm definitely ruining it for you. But the twist is that even the Eternals didn't even know that, right? They were sent by their maker, didn't even know why they were actually sent. They were being misled. So in the middle of the movie, we see them dealing with this harsh reality, right? And they actually even start fighting each other, which is wild. Okay, which is wild. So, but anyways, what I really wanted to tackle the most about this movie is just like this conversation of black superheroes, and I know that, of course, I definitely want to pay homage to even Dr. Martin Luther King, even with the holiday that passed this past Monday, um, um, and 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 even just other black heroes in our local communities and people that we know at our schools and our campuses and our teachers and even just firemen, firewomen, and just all these different people that we know on a day to day that we call heroes. Because I even consider my parents to be black superheroes. But I really want to talk about how specifically superheroes in TV on TV. It's not something we really see that much. I mean, I think if we think about Luke Cage, right? That was wild. That was one of the first, at least that they showed in this modern day and age, right? When you have even Black Lightning and you have these shows that are starting to emerge, and I got to be honest, like I'm so grateful for those shows. Like these shows are the ones that kind of set. Without them, I don't know that we with them, I think they help push forward our culture. Like even just with young boys and girls, like seeing that stuff. Like I remember I took my little brother. What's up, Albert? He's actually in the chat right now. What's good, Albert? Actually, we went to go see into the Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse, and we got to see this black Spider-Man. Like yo, like if you've seen that movie, like just watching it as a black kid is just different. I mean, I grew up loving Miles Morales. I always knew about Miles Morales, but I never thought they would actually make a movie about him. And even watching the new Spider-Man, you see it added a little bit, and even like just they have some Easter eggs too in the Spider-Man movie. I think it was Homecoming where they had his uncle, Miles Morales' uncle in this universe. I'm not gonna get too much into it, but I think the MCU is gonna introduce Miles Morales at some point, and I just don't know when. Okay, but anyways, back to the Eternals. Okay, the Eternals was a very interesting a movie because one of the superheroes they had was this man called Phastos. I believe that's how you say his name. I'm sorry, brother, if I mess up your name. Right? It was played by this actor from Atlanta. That's where I recognize him from. Let me pull this up. Yeah, it was played by Brian Henry. And this man is a dog, man. Like this dude can act his butt off, and I think it's interesting because like the role that he played was a really interesting one. Let me pull this up. He played this black superhero, and like yo, like that blew my mind, man. Just like seeing what he does, cause I love Iron Man. If you ask me, Iron Man is one of my favorite superheroes. But like, yo, like I didn't know that this man was that hard. If you could even see in the snippets a little bit, like he's kind of just like Iron Man, but he's black, yo. That was so encouraging to see. Like, cause his whole thing, right, is that as an Eternal, he has the power to create things, right? So even as he was sent down with his other partners to watch over the earth, his biggest struggle as a genius, right, was not to help the humankind too much because apparently the humankind had to progress on their own. But this man basically had like all types of technology just readily available already in his head because he's just that genius. Like this man has and I think one of the biggest things too that connect with me is even as an architect, like I design, and if you don't know, right now I'm working at a firm here in Indianapolis, and what we do, we're really known for designing schools, pre-K and K-12, not pre-K, K-12, higher education, and that's something that we do very, very well. Like, yo, like people I work with are extremely brilliant. And I think it's interesting that like in the same way, this superhero has the power to build and design things with his mind. Like, yo, like look at like he can literally create anything. And I think that's powerful. And I think even on a deeper meaning, just seeing him like reminds me that like, yo, like guys, like we can literally create anything out of anything. Like sometimes I know for the longest time I wrestled heavy because I thought that I had to have all the tools to do the stuff that I want to do. Even this YouTube thing, like going live streaming, I'm still figuring things out. I have no idea what I'm actually doing here. I'm just experimenting. So I just want to thank you for even being part of this journey because I don't know what I'm doing here, but I think that's the thing, right? Like even as we see Phastos in his story, that like you could literally create anything. Like you can create anything from anything, and it all starts with an idea. Like I know sometimes we could be discouraged. We have people around us who have an idea, and like, I can't even lie. Sometimes I'm that person that shuts down ideas so quickly. But yo, like, no matter what people think, sometimes you just gotta leap, man. Like, you don't have it. You don't have to have it all together. And I think that's something that like we wrestle with as people. Like, we think that we have to have everything together before we move on into the next phase. Like, oh, I don't want to go to college because I feel like I have to know everything, or I have to feel like I have to do everything, so I'm not gonna pursue college, or I'm not gonna go back to school because I need to have this, and this in order, or I'm not gonna apply for this job because I gotta have this in order. And it's like, yo, you don't have to be perfect. Like, um, of course, there's some things that we have to have everything for, like financially. Like, why would you buy a car if you can't actually afford that car? Why would you buy things that you actually can afford? But and you can, no, I'm not talking about those kind of things. I'm talking more so about the things that sometimes we think that we have to have A through Z ready, but sometimes we literally just gotta take our shot. Like, I wouldn't even say like even asking the girl out, or talking to the boy you like, even those kind of like crushes and all that stuff. Like, man, you don't have to have all them words and all these things. Like, actually, I didn't know I was gonna do this right here, but if you guys don't know, I'm actually getting married this July, and even and it's crazy because even as I'm speaking about the matter, like when I before I proposed, right, way before, when we were dating, I felt like it was so long ago, but it was not that long ago. It was in 2020. But yeah, when we first started dating, I remember asking her out on a date, and like I didn't necessarily have all the words. Actually, I didn't have the words. She tell that story. I did not have the words. Your boy was scared. Your boy was shaking. Your boy was scared. But I didn't. I just asked her out on a date. Like, that's all I did. I just asked her out on a date, and praise God for that day. Praise God. Praise God. But yeah, like I didn't. I think my whole thing is in the past. Like, I've always had like in my head that I have to have all these words ready. I have to have these clothes ready. I gotta smell right. I gotta have a. But man, sometimes we just overwork and overstress ourselves, and so I think that's why it's beautiful to see a superhero in the MCU that can literally create anything from anything. And even as he was sent by his creator to do something on Earth, they even kind of redefine their purpose. I think it's interesting. Like, they kind of just changed their course and decided to fight for good rather than fight for evil, even though they were born um, wicked. And I think that kind of mirrors us. Like, I gotta be transparent. Like, I believe in Jesus, and I think in the same way that, of course, I believe we're designed with attention and beautifully. But from the fall, like once Adam and Eve disobeyed the Lord, I think that we were cast down, and I think at that point things shifted. That like wickedness, just as we were cast down into earth, just wickedness filled the earth. Like, and I think it's a contrast because in Genesis it says that because in Genesis it says the spirit filled the earth. Like when God was creating the earth, it was the spirit was over the waters, the Holy Spirit. But then I think it's interesting that like as we were casted out, we kind of overtook the earth, and it looked completely, it was completely different. So but anyways, let me see how the chat is doing real quick. How you guys doing? Am I good? Can y'all hear me good? Can y'all see me good? All right, man. I'm gonna keep moving forward. Yeah. So, man, that's Phastos, okay? And now, bro, now this is really what I want to get into. So, one of the characters in this movie was so I talked about the Eternals a little bit, and one of the Eternals, I think her name was Sersky, Seri. I don't know. I don't know what her name was. But anyways, whatever her name was, I know disrespect. She was cold, right? But she was dating someone, and that person he wasn't a superhero or anything. He didn't have any powers, but I think they were kind of trying to hint at something because apparently this dude, and I'm giving you deets right here, like mad details, but But this guy apparently he and she was dating apparently has a complicated family history, right? So and it turns out and the end credits, you know how Marvel is with these end credits, bro. Like if you're watching a Marvel movie, like I mean when I'm at the movie theaters, I see people get up when the movie is over. Like, where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? Only if you knew, man. Like, only if you knew. Again, in the chat, if you coming in the chat, let me know how you doing. Let me know how you doing. I want to know how you're doing, okay? I want to know. I want to know, okay? If you're doing good, if you're doing great, if you're doing terrible, let me know. I gotta know. I gotta know. But yeah. So, anyways, I'd be like, why? Where you going, man? Like, there's still so much more to see. Okay, but okay. Anyways, guys. So, what was I? What was I? I blanked out. I blanked out. I blanked out. Blanked out. Yes. So, but apparently, in the end credit scene, there's like this man I was talking about, right? He found apparently his grandfather heritage, right, which was this sword, and there, um, we see this Black Knight. We kind of hint at Black Knight, and I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know much about Black Knight. Maybe when we figure out how to get the architect back on this channel with us, he'll tell us who Black Knight is. But for now, I don't really know who Black Knight is, so I'm gonna keep it real. But I do know in the end credit scene, somebody spoke other than him. It was Blade. Like, yo, they're bringing back Blade. Like, they have announced this a couple years back, but they are bringing back Blade. And, yo, when I saw that, bro, oh, my gosh, guys. When I saw that, I almost lost my mind. Okay. So, but, guys, make sure that, make sure that you like and subscribe if you haven't already. Be a part of this team that we're trying to build right now. We're almost, so right now our goal is 1,000. And right now we're only at 26, so your subscribe will actually help this channel move forward. So make sure you're sharing, liking this, and subscribing because this will help this channel a lot, okay? But yeah, so anyways, Blade, like, yo, like, it's crazy because Blade, this man actually, like, me and Blade go way back. Like, I remember, like, my auntie, she put me on, and I think way earlier than she should have, right? She put me on, and because the thing with Blade is, if you don't know, it's like it's this black superhero, right? Since we're talking about black superheroes, and I really do think that's what that is what got me though, because I mean the whole movie is about vampires and stuff, and I don't know at that age if that's what I wasn't really too much into that, but I think because he looked like me, right, that made a big difference. Like I talk a lot about this, like representation is huge. Like even here, me being a Haitian boy, I think is important. Like if there's anybody Haitian watching this, I want to let you know, like, that I see you, brother. I see you, my sister. Like it's so dope to see people that look like us and that from our same culture doing the stuff we want to do, or doing the stuff that we used to do, or just like people that are representing us, man. I think that's beautiful, both man, women. So anyways, Blade, he's gonna be played by my guy. I do not know how to say his name. I'm gonna butcher this. His name is Mahershala Ali, and he's stepping into the Blade role. I think it's interesting because he actually was on Luke Cage too. He was like the boss, which is interesting that they're bringing him as another superhero. But anyways, they didn't show his face on the end credit scene, but you heard his voice, and like for me, that just like sent me, yo. Like again, because to me, this dude is like the Black Panther, and that was another one too I wanted to talk about. Like Black Panther, this dude, like Black Panther, man, he changed the game, and this is the I didn't show you, I forgot to show you this, but here this is the scene where dude started speaking, Blade started speaking, so we don't see him, but we see this. But anyways, guys, like, let me see in the chat what's going on. If you're in the chat, let me know you here. I want to know who all is here. Let me know who's here. I want to know who all is here, man. I want to know. I don't want to feel like I'm by here by myself speaking. I want to know who I'm in the cut with. Let me know who I'm in the cut with. Yeah. Uh, uh, uh. No response from the chat. Let's keep moving. Um, oops. But anyways, so Black Panther, I think that's another one to briefly mention too, just like what he stood for as a king of a black nation. And I think we don't talk about being in the U.S. I think we can overlook that, like kings of black nations. I mean, that's happening all around the world, and I'm from one of those nations too, Haiti. Um, but um, but that one is full of corruption. I think with that one, it's more now. Again, I'm not bashing my country, but I think there is a harsh reality that like we have a historic um, line of oppression and even dictatorship in our Haitian government, which I'm not proud of. Kind of reminds me of like Killmonger, kind of. That's what we kind of have in our country right now. But no, there's a lot of different nations, black led. And I think it was it was just so dope to see them like technologically advanced and leading the nation, even hidden and tucked away, um, um, yet still advancing the world through vibranium. That was so encouraging to me. So yeah. But anyways, this was just what I wanted to talk to you about, Marvel related. This was my quick 2 cents on everything that I've been doing or learning or consuming, Marvel related, and hope that you found any of this encouraging. Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you want to watch more, make sure you click. If you like what you see, make sure you click the videos that YouTube suggested. I'm so grateful for you and hope that you continue to join this mission here, okay? So make sure you watch one of these videos that YouTube is suggesting for you, okay? I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in with me. Ciao. Alvin the Architect.